And there we go. The cheers coming in. The red Zerg will be Leenock from FX Open. And his opponent, the blue Zerg, Hyvaa, representing STX Seoul.
Yep.
Here on Whirlwind, cross spawns. 10 o'clock for Hyvaa, 4 o'clock for Leenock.
In lobby chat, Hyvaa was joking around saying, all right, go easy on me. I'm not very good, so we'll see what's up.
The Lean Octopus shows no mercy.
That's right. He is everywhere. Indeed. He had some of the, Leenock really had some of the most exciting Zerg versus Terran to watch back in like 2011. Really aggressive. Always liked mutiling Baneling, but was also one of the players to institute Infestors fairly early on as well. One of the first players to really make that one work. And just the source of so many good games back in the day. And it did well for him. He ended up winning some championships. Won an MLG, made it to a GSL Finals. And here he is today in the Premier League, playing to try to move on to the round of 16. See if he can do it. Hatch first for both players. And it's a nice big map, of course, so not too shocking, but
the danger quite low.
Then again, I'm like, all right, what all-in is Hyvaa going to show us
and
for this game?
Pool coming next for Leenock. No sign yet. There we go. Pool for both players, so mirror builds. Nothing too exciting happening now.
No.
The question is, the divergence last game when we saw Ro32 versus Hyvaa was that critical point where we saw a lot of those Zerglings start to come out and then follow up with the Hydra Den.
Yeah.
So there was that two-base timing.
Yeah. It was interesting. I'm going to have to go back and watch that one again because that one had some interesting stuff in it. But I think we're going to see a very different game here. These players, despite it being a big map, the Ling Baneling aggression is probably going to still be a pretty big temptation, although historically speaking, we're probably going to see Leenock more on the defender's side in that regard. But it's still too early to call. Oh, that Overlord he really wanted to kiss. He turned at the last moment.
It's the only love Overlords get.
He's I need you more tonight.
It's a Romeo
tonight or whatever it is.
It's a Romeo and Juliet Overlord story, this game.
That's right. Well, he would do anything for love, but he won't do that. No, he won't do that.
Well, no gas yet for Leenock. Meanwhile, the Zergling speed coming from Hyvaa.
Yeah.
So Leenock opting for that, a lot of queens, that big economy.
And this is one of those maps, too, where you have that natural that's still above a ramp as well. So once you spread the creep a little bit, and you're going to have 4 queens to do it with, you can build the buildings at the edge of your ramp and get that nice wall in, too. So that means you can delay the gas a bit more. And he's getting a little bit of scouting done here. Maybe pick up a drone if he's really lucky.
No. Question is, can he get in there and see the Baneling nest?
Oh, I think he can.
Oh,
maybe not. No way.
He doesn't see it.
Did he see it?
Pretty sure he did not see it. Pretty sure, as our observer showing us right now, going over to that Baneling nest, I think that's still an unknown for our FX Open player.
Yeah. Ooh.
So critical knowledge being withheld right now, but there's not a big...
Oh! He actually got the Overlord, and that's going to be a bit annoying for Leenock. Yeah, he's going to have to spend that extra 100 minerals at a period in time in his build where he's not going to want to do it, and he's going to be a bit down on supply for just a moment as well. Some Lings with that speed making it into the main, getting a scout for everything.
All right, so now the question is, what is Hyvaa going to do with this information? How is he going to react? He does kill a drone.
Yeah.
How is he going to deal with this? He knows that there hasn't, as of yet, been that Zergling speed. Finally, the Baneling nest on the way now for Leenock.
Yep.
But quite a bit later, Roach Warren Lair coming up for Hyvaa and getting a few Banelings right now as well.
Right. More of defensive nature than anything, but the thing is that he's got that, yeah, like you mentioned, very, very quick lair going. Leenock is doing a lot of the same stuff, only just a little bit later. Hyvaa has that Roach Warren, has that Baneling nest out. but with the lair, he can go into a little bit longer of a game. So we might have a third base in our future here for Hyvaa. But there's a lot of other options as well.
What's our drone count at?
The drone count's fairly even right now. It's 41 to 42 for each player. As far as the drones lost, I believe there's, just a couple lost for Leenock. And that's about it. So even like skipping gas for a long time didn't end up really doing a lot for him economically. But then again, the extra queens are really what kind of is the important part of that. The ability to spread that creep, take that third base maybe a little bit quicker. And yeah, he is actually taking third base. Okay. So that's generally what you do if you do that 4-queen opening with the delay on the gas. It's just the idea to have that really strong economy and then move that strong through base. Oh, and a Spire. Yeah, a little bit of classic Wings of Liberty ZvZ here. Taking that third and then trying to cover it a bit with that Mutalisk aggression that comes a bit later.
So clearly Hyvaa opting for that +1 Roach speed, going for the Roach build this time around.
Yeah.
And that third base, to see if it can get up for Leenock, if he can get that extra boost to the economy while distracting his opponent with those Mutalisks. He's getting a good bank of gas right now.
I feel like we're really seeing like a Wings of Liberty throwback day in ZvZ today. We've seen just straight up Roach Infestor, just Ling Baneling all-ins. You know, now we're seeing the third base with the Spire go up against straight up Roaches with the Infestation pit. So,
good surround, yeah. May be able to get a few of these Roaches out. Got to be careful of that Baneling, but he does manage to pick off 3 of those Roaches, substantially fitting the numbers. Spire still not complete yet for Leenock, so the more he can delay, the better.
And the thing is that Spire is not going to be terribly helpful against the Roaches. Mutas do not kill them very quickly. I think Leenock's in serious trouble here. I mean, it's serious potential of losing his third base is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, and there we go. Look at that, a forward Spine Crawler. And there we go. Now the Mutalisk coming out right there. Spore Crawler, excuse me. Now the Mutalisk coming out for Leenock. Can he defend? He does lose that third.
Yeah. And he's got another one going up as well, but he needs these Mutalisks to do some damage, and there's going to be a Spore up in each base right now for Hyvaa. So I think it's going to be tough for Leenock to make this work. And the kind of tricky part of this is that Hyvaa's going to have this strong ground army to counterattack with.
Not to mention he's going to have Infestors as well, so he's got to be super careful of avoiding those fungal growths.
Now the biggest benefit for Leenock right now is that it is such a large map, and even with Roach speed, they do take a very long time to get across. So that limits a lot of what Hyvaa can do. But as the game progresses, you know, we'll see how he decides to change things.
Well, Leenock's splitting a lot of his mutas into smaller groups, harassing some overlords right there. And trying to pick off the gas, trying to slow the teching.
And denying the gas is always important, definitely. But these bands of Roaches, these are what are going to be very annoying for Leenock to deal with.
Oh, can he actually get this Evo Chamber, though, before it finishes?
He's trying. Oh, dodges a fungal with most of his mutas.
Yeah, he's got to be so careful, though, right there on the split. Brings some Zerglings in, excuse me, but gets them all knocked out pretty quickly.
The Spore Crawler buff really changed a lot in ZvZ. In the past, even if there were a couple spores out, what you could do is take just one muta and start poking away at those infestors, and then kind of make them choose to fungal one muta or just lose it. Oh, he does get the queen.
Got to get a couple of them right there as well. Finally, the first waves of Roaches coming out for Leenock, but he's going to lose quite a few drones in this process as well, trying to micro them back, but those Roaches going down very, very slowly.
Yeah, it's been annoying to deal with, certainly. Be able to pick off another drone or two, and Hyvaa continues to kind of maintain this supply lead. The mutas just haven't worked out as well as Leenock had hoped, and he is going to switch things up. He's getting the Infestation Pit. He's adding on more missile attack upgrades. He's not too far behind Hyvaa, but more importantly, keeps taking expansions. He knows that if he can kind of use these mutas for a little bit of map control if possible, see attacks that are coming, and just get more bases than his opponent, he can get that economic edge that's going to let him catch up.
We'll have to see if it'll work. A lot of Hydralisks already out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to deal with so many units with so few Hydras, or so few mutas, rather. And here they come, coming into the main. Some Roaches picking off some of the Lings, but this is still going to be annoying for Leenock to deal with. The Roach Hydra follow-up and the Infestors. Oh, man. Hyvaa has just produced an absolutely scary army for Leenock to deal with.
Yeah, these Mutalisks not going to be doing a lot against the massed Hydralisks. They are upgraded, just moving like lightning over a missed fungal growth right there. Gotta be so careful if you're Leenock with the small amount of energy that you have. Can he defend? Infested Terrans coming over the top. For Hyvaa, a few Infestors finding themselves in the front, picked off. He's got to thin the numbers of these Infested Terrans, so trying to get up before they come up with the Mutalisk. Can he hold? Leenock Spine Crawlers just shooting over the top right now. All of the Infestors from Hyvaa are down except for one. And Leenock breathes a sigh of relief as he holds it and he evens out the supply.
Well, he's got 17 more roaches on the way as well. The question is, can Hyvaa reinforce fast enough to handle the reinforcements that are going to come a little bit quicker for Leenock? And Hyvaa, yeah, deciding to go back, but then turning a corner and coming back towards the third. And this is the real danger of this map, is there's so many angles to be attacked from when you have that many bases. And you have to really be on top of your map awareness to be able to get your units there in time. And Leenock sending out a little bit of a roach strike force, but he may wish he had those at home.
Uh-oh, so very testy situation. There's a macro hatch and a bunch of spines there. And
not enough though.
Yeah, the Hydra Roach Force from Hyvaa going to take down a ton of Leenock's infrastructure at his third.
Yeah,
one hatchery goes down, two hatchery falls.
He's going to lose that mining base, going to lose nearly every drone there as well.
We may be in another base race situation. Roach War is going on outside of the natural of Hyvaa, and reinforcements coming in from Leenock. We're not seeing that at all right now.
Yep, that's right. And can he push?
All right, he's moving forward, but it looks like there may be just enough roaches, but with the reinforcements from Hyvaa coming in from the rear, he's just gonna crush Leenock's force. And there's not gonna be much left except for a 50 supply advantage for Hyvaa.
Yeah, and Leenock's gonna try to just do all the damage he possibly can. Going after the queens, going after the drones to support. The queens especially, if you can reduce the amount of injects, he has a chance to catch up in the supply, but it just looks like Hyvaa is too well defended right now, and Leenock essentially just down to his natural expansion is in huge, huge trouble.
Absolutely, Leenock on his last legs right now. The Mutalisks coming in. Oh, it's so close at the moment. And there we go, Roachin.
Yeah, the army supply shows it all. Hyvaa moving across with this death push. Very small chance that Leenock's going to have enough to defend this.
Those Mutalisks that he got just not doing enough in the early game.
Yeah, that was really the key. I mean, it was a nice idea, but it just got scouted just a little bit too early, and Hyvaa responded well, knowing that Leenock couldn't handle that counter-aggression. Leenock coming in to try to get more done at this third base, and he will shut it down a bit, but that huge army from Hydra is just the main point of concern right now for Leenock.
Yeah, and there we go. Third base getting focused down. Hyvaa splits his forces. Easily going to take out that hatchery with about 15 or so roaches, and he'll just clean up the last army from Leenock right here with his Hydras. And it looks like that'll be about it.
Yeah, that will certainly, well, it may be a little bit close. I mean, close to about it. I don't know if the game's going to end right here, but it's certainly looking good for Hyvaa. Leenock just trying to hold on as best he can. You can see by the unit counting station, though, he's got half the roaches, pretty much half the army supply, as we saw from that tab a little bit earlier as well, too. So Leenock clinging to life here, but it's going to be so hard to come back. I mean, the thought of Leenock being able to take and hold more bases at this point with the army and the map presence that Hyvaa has is kind of hard to grasp.
Yeah, well, there we go. Hyvaa getting his third base back online. Leenock attempting to do the same, but he's going to have some perfect play here. He's got a ton of Infestor energy, actually. Leenock, 9 Infestors to 5 from Hyvaa, but his last hope is going to be those fungal growths.
This is the hardest working mutas I've ever seen.
Uh-oh.
It's a big job. Oh, they have to get out of there now.
Out of skedaddle.
Yeah, Leenock keeping up, you know, he's trying to keep up on supply as best he can, and all those Infestors do have full energy, but it's going to take a lot of fungal growth. It's going to take like a Herculean effort with control. The nice thing, though, is that he did kill the third for Hyvaa, so he did buy himself some time. He does have that.
And he's actually catching up in terms of supply right now rather rapidly. If Hyvaa...
Yeah, the income is the same right now for both of these guys. Hyvaa actually down on drones.
Yeah,
so
Leenock has a bigger bank, though, at the moment.
Yep.
And
Leenock can pull this one out of the fire. It's going to be pretty impressive.
yeah, Hyvaa's actually been sending his entire army back to the base quite frequently, but he is going to be able to pick off this hatchery.
Oh,
in
he
the
does.
third. Yeah. All right, well, it's still tense. We're at even supply now, but Hyvaa has that third base up and running at the moment.
Yeah.
And Leenock just building more and more and more investors. He's got to get some kind of edge right now. He's got to get some base up.
This has kind of become a little bit of a crazy ZvZ right now. Leenock with some clever counterattacking managed to kind of give himself a new lease on life for the moment. And yeah, showing us the income right now. You can see that it's still a little bit stronger for Hyvaa, but not by a whole lot.
Oh, this is so tactical.
Yeah, this is turned into a very, very close game. I thought Hyvaa had it all but in the bag, but you can never count Leenock out, man. He's always been a very, very good ZvZer, and he's definitely proving it today. And I feel like if there's any way to kind of take down Hyvaa in this situation, it's to kind of get into the longer game. I feel like the longer the game goes on, the better chance that Leenock has.
And look at that, the pesky beetle is finally getting taken care of right there.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to harass those overlords anymore. But a very narrow supply lead. Leenock camping out, trying to get his third base up. Oh, this is so close. Even upgrades, as our observer is showing us right now, for both players.
Yeah. Hyvaa not really able to use the advantage that he would have with those Hydralisks for the reason that he just doesn't have a whole lot of them.
Very quick snipe of the drone right there, just trying to deny the fourth.
He doesn't really have the resources to produce a ton of them either as well, going more instead for the infestors. That one Muta, man, he's got 4 kills. It's pretty impressive. It's not
Hero
bad.
Muta.
Yeah. So Leenock's still a little bit down on supply, but he got that third base up and running a little bit earlier.
You gotta be careful not to get fungled right there. Every unit's so important right now.
Yep, and that Muta's days are numbered. Nope. Do I want to fungal on Muta? Hyvaa asks himself. The Overseer's like, I see you. All right, there we go.
He was waiting to make sure that he could get his Hydras there. He would have fungled otherwise, I think.
Huge amounts of infestors coming out for these guys at the moment.
This is going to be some crazy infested Terran wars soon.
Yeah.
Changeling going ahead and scouting that third base. Leenock taking the tower at the middle of the map. He's got that little bit of a vision advantage right now. Picks off a single roach. It's mostly infestor versus infestor, though. Oh, catches him with some good fungal growth, but here we go. Infested Terrans coming out.
Yeah, Leenock, though, this is smart to just back off like this.
Getting the damage down on the infestor is really important. Waste some of his energy, too, in the form of those infested Terrans while pulling back.
Yeah, you can just back off whenever that happens. It's a nice big map for that as well, too. Leenock's still down on supplies, still down in army right now, but it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that he could come back and win this, but he's got a chance. Ew, this third base, though.
Oh, look at this infested Terran war is about to commence, and the burrowed infestors dodging the fungal growth. The third base will go down along with all the drones at it. Leenock, it's kind of do or die for him right now.
He's trying to trap Hyvaa. He's trying to bottleneck him up. He may be able to do it. Maybe.
This is so critical, but look at those great fungals. And he's not going to get it. And look how many infested Terrans coming out. This is the end for both of these players. I've never seen so many infested Terrans in my life.
More for Leenock, but he's going to need to win this fight so efficiently. He has nearly no roaches left, and that's going to be the big issue. The supply getting very even right now.
Oh, this is so close, though. Overseers for both players. More infested Terrans coming out.
Leenock
Are there
has a bit
any
of a lead.
roaches right now for Leenock, though? I think he's got all investors. He's on the counterattack right now.
That's right, but I mean, can he do the damage? He doesn't have the economy to replace these units like Hyvaa does. He's trying to stop it, but somehow this game is still going.
He's simultaneously attacking the third and the fourth, however. These roaches peeling off and going up. He bought potentially enough time. Leenock actually has a supply lead right now.
I think he may actually be able to do it. These infestors coming back home with nearly no energy. Just a few infested Terrans coming out. And here comes Leenock with all his infestors, trapping the rest of Hyvaa's units.
Oh, can he actually get it down, though? The base will fall. And it's just infested Terran Wars right now. If Leenock can pull back, he may be able to save these roaches, and that's what he's going to do. Now, he didn't kill the fourth. Oh, this is just so very close. He's distance mining as well.
I've got to see what the infestor count is right now for each player. It actually is
dead even
at
17.
Yeah, exactly.
Dead even roaches
now,
too, 18 to 19.
Yeah.
The difference is that mining base, or potentially mining base at the fourth. However, there aren't very many drones for either players.
Yeah, no
In fact,
income.
Leenock has more drones, but he's being forced to distance mine.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Doesn't have enough for another hatchery. So if Hyvaa can keep a hold of this one, it's going to be a little bit more. I mean, props to Leenock, though, for being able to come back and tactically get himself in a position where he might be able to win this game.
Look at that. Using those transfuses to keep at least a few of those infestors alive that would have died to that cute little fungal attack there.
Like no income right now for Leenock.
Well, not much income for Hyvaa either. He's got 4 drones on minerals.
Yeah. This game is insane. Leenock, is he actually going to take the risk of building a hatchery? That's my question right now. Because he's got, and you know they've got the exact same amount of roaches as well. 17 roaches apiece at the same time.
And look at that. He finds an infestor in the middle of the map right there. Gets hit by that fungal. Very tactical infestor used by Hyvaa, just trying to get the fungals while he can.
Yeah. Leenock trying to get that hatchery up.
Run, infestor!
He doesn't even have any kills. He's like, I haven't yet begun to live. Oh, the Overseer, he will see all, though.
Oh,
he knows he's there. He can see the little squiggle. Oh, there it is.
No, they found him.
Oh, well.
But in this situation, every single unit counts so much.
Yeah.
And look at that. Look at the spread of these infestors and these overlords from Hyvaa. He's trying to get as much vision as he can. Leenock moving his infestors around in a big infestor ball. He's got so much energy on them right now.
We're definitely going to see the supply start to go up for Hyvaa, though. He's been mining from that base a little bit longer.
Uh-oh. Hyvaa's here with infested Terrans to take out the drones. The spine crawler's not quite there yet. There's no place for them to root.
He's going to lose the queen too as well. Oh, the drone's burrowing immediately. Yeah, smart move by Leenock.
Run, spines.
This is the weirdest fight I've ever seen. Infested Terrans chasing unburrowed spine crawlers. There we go. The roach is coming in now.
Okay, so the hatchery gets up, though.
Yeah.
The hatchery is up.
It's up, but it needs to be mined from. And there are 16 drones for Hyvaa, 12 only for Leenock right now.
This is wacky.
Yeah, I feel like Hyvaa still has a bit of an edge, but the way Leenock has been able to make this competitive again is so impressive.
And the roach detachment, can he hold is the question. Gets a good fungal, an advanced fungal up right there. Draws out a bunch of these infested Terrans. Fungals on Leenock as well.
Yeah.
So a few of Leenock's roaches going to go down. He's holding as long as he can.
Oh, that's a big fungal on those infestors. That's a little bit of a worry, but more infested Terrans coming out for Leenock.
Infested Terran Wars is all we're going to see, and Hyvaa intelligently leaving behind a few of his roaches at his third, so
that's a big deal.
Leenock can't counterattack with that small little special forces tactical strike of his own. But neither player willing to commit right now. It's just too risky. Hyvaa does have that supply advantage.
Yeah, I do feel like Hyvaa is pulling farther and farther ahead in this game. That crucial base that he had up even longer.
Oh, he's trying to get this Overseer. This Overseer is very important right now to finding any burrowed units.
Yep, manages to save it though.
All right, 21 to 15 now, our drone counts. Although Hyvaa has a lot more roaches, and Leenock having a slight edge in terms of infestors.
Yeah.
And those lumbering infested Terrans, it's gonna collapse. Their time is up.
Yep. That's it. Oh, some Lynx getting intercepted as they try to come across the map to do a bit of harassment. Leenock still with a few infestors out on the map to do a bit of harassment. So, this is such a crazy game. Both of these guys trying to rebuild their economies after one base.
He finds two of those infestors, though, so another small win for Leenock.
Yeah.
He's still falling further behind in terms of supply, though.
Hyvaa's getting another base, and he's starting to add on the Hydras. I feel like very soon Hydra's going to have an army, or Hyvaa rather is going to have an army that he feels is going to be fit to engage Leenock. We'll see, but Leenock's still fighting an uphill battle in this game. He needs to kind of continue to use this economy to stay safe, but he's going to need another base.
I mean, he's not really fully mining from the one he has at the moment either.
Yep.
I mean, Hyvaa stopped making drones at this point and is focusing more on fleshing out his army at the moment.
Well, he's got enough for one base, so that does make sense. And there we go, Leenock finally droning up just a bit. The income still a little bit more, as we can see in Hyvaa's favor, but I think that's going to even up fairly soon. But once that second base kicks in, that's a different story.
You know, the other thing to remember, too, is that for each player, they've got a lot of queens with a lot of energy, so that the transfusions can be quite important in a defending situation, in addition to those spine crawlers.
Yeah.
Wow, this game is just insanely even.
Well, it's kind of at a bit of a standoff now. I mean, where Leenock doesn't want to and knows that he can't attack Hyvaa, and there are enough infestors out for Leenock that Hyvaa is going to have a very, very difficult time engaging until he gets much more army.
Now, Leenock trying to take another base right now.
Yeah.
So he's taking a bit of a risk, but one that he has to take. Hyvaa sees it with an Overlord, however, so it's no secret, and there comes the Roach detachment to stop the fourth base.
Yeah, can Leenock save it? He really needs this base to go up, because right now it's about a 50 supply lead for Hyvaa, and if that base goes down for Leenock, it's going to get much, much bigger.
Hyvaa actually retreats after that. He saw that the Changeling scouted out his army, and so he knew that Leenock could be coming over. Now, he's got two forces. Let's see where Hyvaa decides to put his pressure.
Well, the army supply is pretty even when you consider that Hyvaa has more drones than Leenock. So in terms of that, the supply difference in terms of actual army strength isn't quite as lopsided as it may look from just checking out the supply tab right now.
Okay, well, a few Infested Terrans trying to stop this Overlord from scouting. Hyvaa very tentative about his push right here. He's just playing this so carefully.
Well, he's starting to kind of run away with this a little bit now. He's gotten a drone a lot. He's had the defense. He's starting to pull ahead again. Double the workers nearly from Leenock, so it's just kind of a matter of time. You can see he's already confident enough to be pushed across the map. So as he kind of makes a few more reinforcements here, I think we're going to see the aggression start from our blue Zerg once again.
Okay, well, Hyvaa still just moving, not actually putting pressure down, droning up at his second base, but Leenock matching him step for step right now. Hyvaa can't give him too much of an edge. Overseer taken out. Hyvaa.
Okay, so there's the Hydra Speed and the Swarm Hosts. All right, so the Swarm Hosts are going to be, used, of course, a little bit more defensively. It's a very big map for them to walk across, and I feel like that's a good way. If he parks some Swarm Hosts at that fourth base location, he can keep some Roaches at the third, some Swarm Hosts at the fourth, and then be aggressive still with the group of units he's already got in the middle of the map. So that should, in theory, work out fairly well for him. And he already has such an economic lead as well that he doesn't need to worry about a big counter push from Leenock at this particular moment. So that's going to give him time, too, to get out those foremost that he wants.
Oh,
what a crazy game. We're almost back to maxed again for both players.
It's quite surprising.
Yeah, okay. Hydra Speed, too, is going to be really nice for Hyvaa in terms of getting good positioning in fights. That's something that he's been kind of missing. I mean, remember we talked about him having the Hydras, but not really able to use them too efficiently, or too effectively, rather. And a couple Infested Terrans popping out to distract the Spine Crawlers.
Oh, and a whole lot more Infested Terrans. He's tired of these Spine Crawlers popping up. Huge fungal growths going down, though, from Leenock, so he's going to be thinning the numbers quite efficiently in terms of energy usage right here.
Well, I think Hive is perfectly fine with Leenock using fungal growths on Infested Terrans. I mean, it's an energy trade on both sides, but getting those Spine Crawlers a little bit more helpful. And that's a lot of energy to use that many fungal growths.
That's right. Well, it's a lot of infestors as well, but Leenock will stop that base from going down. Hyvaa Looking like he's gonna come around the side. Will he go for that fourth? No, he's just been continually moving his army. He's waiting for his swarm host numbers to grow ever larger here, but both players nearly maxed again.
Yeah, no kidding. Hydra's getting more and more map control, or Hyvaa rather, but Leenock's gotten his own 2 bases up again. So, I mean, really at this point, we're back to kind of a tactical game where the upgrades are very similar for both players, and it's really going to be a matter of out-positioning your opponent and getting some good counterattacks, and that's going to win this game.
And I think so much of this is going to depend on the use of those swarm hosts.
Yeah.
If Leenock can abuse their immobility, then he can take this game. If Hyvaa can adequately put pressure down, he can take it, but Leenock slips through the cracks and he's going to get into that 5th base.
It's going to be a bit annoying to deal with, but I mean now the swarm hosts are going to allow Hyvaa to put a lot of pressure onto Leenock. And Leenock already getting pushed back by the Locust. I'm really curious to see how he's going to deal with this. The fungal, I mean, he's got so many infestors at it.
Oh, it's just doing so much damage to his roaches right now.
Yeah.
And there we go, another wave of locusts coming up, reinforced by the Hydralisks from behind.
Well, he wants those Hydras up front a little bit so he can try to pick off Overseers and keep those swarm hosts safe. So the Hydras are kind of a necessary part of this.
And only Roach Infestor for Leenock right here. A lot less versatility in this composition.
Oh, we've actually got the Hive nearly done here for Hyvaa. He's going to be able to get more upgrades and maybe even do things like add on Vipers potentially. Yeah, Hive is still looking really good in this game, but Leenock, for the moment, fairly well defended.
And even more swarm hosts added right now by Hyvaa. He already has a pretty significant number.
Yeah.
Well, Leenock only has 1 Overseer at the moment.
It's a big deal.
Our observer is showing us, so.
He needs to keep that alive, no doubt.
Leenock still on the defensive, and here we go. Some Hydras trying to get an angle on the 4th. Roaches coming around the side. They will stall that attack. But the never-ending wave of locusts. Oh, he gets caught out with a fungal growth right there from the infestors of Hyvaa.
Yeah, but Leenock trading pretty well there, and actually slightly ahead in supply. Oh, some big fungals going down into some of his units.
Fungals, and this.
Oh, he gets a bunch of infestors.
He got all the infestors right there. Continues to stack that fungal growth. They're all gonna go down.
That's actually a really big deal for Leenock. That helps him so much, but he's still down on supply. He's gone for the counterattack. His defensive forces at home are just not quite as big as Hyva's attacking force. Swarmos are gonna be so helpful too with this.
There goes his 4th. So Leenock gonna lose a base. And can he hold on? He's got this attacking force as well. It's at the 4th. He's trying to pick up drones and move from base to base as tactically as possible. The Locust coming in. Everything is burrowed right now. Leenock looks like he's about to fold.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we saw him in this position earlier here, but this is a bit more serious. The Swarm host especially just putting a ton of pressure.
Yeah, the Overseers coming in, revealing those burrowed units. Fungal growth's about all that Leenock has left. His roaches being pushed out and zoned out. Infested turrets coming down. That's all he's got. All the gas that's left in the tank. Can he hold out long enough? Can he get the fungal growths he needs? His roaches are getting cleared out.
130 supply lead right now for Hyvaa. Down to 30 supply is Leenock. There's the GG. And Hyvaa moves on